Good morning. Welcome to my channel. My name is Lynn and I'm glad you're here. Whether you are a new viewer or you are returning, thank you for taking time out of your day to hang out with me. Because you know what today is? Today is the beginning of the 2026 gram stash usage. I need to think of a better way to say that. Y'all got any ideas? If you do, leave them down below. Because I want to, it's a challenge. Maybe it should be the 2026 stash challenge. And just leave it at that. Because it is using the 2026 grams out of my stash for knitting and then 2026 grams out of my stash for crochet. I think that's what we're going to do. And if you're still here, if you're new and you're still here, you might have found your group. So, we're going to be discussing some of those things. So grab your project, grab your drink. I am drinking my tea this morning because I am freezing. It is like, I think my husband said it was 55 degrees. He said it was supposed to get up to 64. But y'all know what? That 55 degrees, when I took mine out to go potty, it felt like it was 30. It felt really cold. So, So if I have a little bit of a red nose, that's probably why, because it was cold. That is still too hot to drink. See? And this is the perfect size, Brandy, for my Skittles mug. This is the perfect size for me, for my tea. It's just really, really hot. Now, the other day when I told y'all what I was going to do, it was the Forest Breeze tea. And then I thought, you know, I want to do that one. And I wanted to do it in the clearance yarn that I had, Fresh Haven, that is Linosel, or Linosel, or Tinsel, Lyocell. That's what it was. So, I did a swatch. I told y'all I was going to do one. Alright? I got gauge. But do y'all see how holy that fabric is? I mean, hold on. Let me do it. Let me do it this way. I'll show you this way. I know but look. Do y'all see? These are the double crochets, and then I thought, okay, well, let me test out some half doubles. And even the half doubles leave me with one of those fabrics that I was worried about. And if I go down in a needle size, I won't hit gauge, and it'll make it thicker. I mean, it's got a nice little, it's a nice little drapey thing. So I backed up, decided I wasn't going to go that route, right? Now, I am still going to use this yarn, but not for this. Because and this is nothing against crochet tops. I just like a solid material like the stockinette stitch that I get with the knitting. I know I can mimic that, and I may end up doing it. Hannah over at Cozy Cottage Crochet is doing a crochet piece to where you work it this way. And I think it's slip stitches so that it can mimic the look of the stockinette stitch. I can't remember 100%. I'll have to go back and rewatch that video that she was showing it in. I like that idea. But hers is for a cardigan and this was for a t-shirt, so the construction isn't the same, and I don't know that that would work. But I did find another project for crochet, even though I couldn't do my tops. I'm still going to do tops. I just probably will not do these two, because the forest was Forest Breeze. That was the double crochets. And I love the look of it, you know. It is a very pretty garment. But I think I'm just a diehard knit person for garments. Because when I was looking at this, I just don't like the look of it. You know? I mean, I don't know that... And that's not anything against anybody who does like it. It's just this is not my... It's not my aesthetic, maybe. I like seeing it on other people. I think it's beautiful. It's just me. So I don't want to make something that I'm not going to wear just for the sake of doing it for the 2026 Stash Challenge. So, but I'm glad I did this. I'm glad I went ahead and did both on my gauge swatch so that I could tell if it was going to be some material that I liked. And I found out it wasn't. So, and that's okay. Back up and punt. All right, so I thought, what else? Because some had recommended that I do hats and scarves for donation. I thought, okay. Now, I do need to get a hold of Red Cross when I take those blankets that I finished. I need to go and ask them, do they take hats and scarves? This thing needs to hurry up and cool off enough to where I can drink it because I am cold. All right, so I'm looking at my handy dandy little. Actually, let me move this over so that way. All right. So I have Ravelry pulled up because I found this pattern and I'm thinking I like it, you know, but there's one problem with it. Now, I like the pattern, and I'm using my Karen 1 pound that I got ages ago over at Joanne. In fact, I bought all that before I ever went to work there. I mean, because like I said, I was a customer before I ever became an employee. Since my tea is not ready yet, I can use my caffeine. Because, I mean, I got some decent sleep last night, but I'm really tired. Anyway, so, since that top didn't work, and I have other plans for my knitting, and I will let y'all know that when I start to do it. For right now, I'm doing the crochet. So, I thought, okay, I can do what y'all recommended. I can do hats. I can do scarves. So I picked a scarf pattern that I really, really liked. There's only one problem. All right, the pattern calls for a 5mm hook, and I'm using a 6. The yarn calls for a 5mm hook too, but this stuff, now I'm gonna show you. Look how stiff this is with a 6mm hook with worsted weight yarn. But isn't that pattern gorgeous? It's the cable stitch scarf. I'll link it down below. It's a free pattern on Ravelry. But I love it. And it can go, it's actually masculine enough to where it could go for a man or a woman. Now, my problem with this is it too stiff. Y'all see it. I mean, but if I go any higher in hook size, I'm scared that it's going to be too loose. I guess I could try it. And basically what this is you do double crochets, and then what you do is to make that little faux cable, you do a front post treble on one down below. Like, you got to do your starting row, and you got to go down 2 single crochet rows, and then once you get the pattern established for the 3rd row, I think, or 4th row, you just front post treble crochet, and then go behind there and you have to skip 2 spaces, and then do a front post treble crochet from the previous double crochet. So, and then you go back and you do the space, the 2 spaces that you skipped. I will spit it out in a minute, y'all, I promise. Sounds like I was the other day. Like my brain just doesn't want to function. But that's all right. Okay, so it's kind of cloudy. That's okay. That means it's going to be a perfect day to just hang out. Oh, I can't hang out. I have to go pick up some stuff from the store and get my husband's medicine. Oh, yeah. That's an update that I did not tell y'all about. So, nobody was available to take my husband to the doctor the other day, right? And I told him, I said, I can do it, you know. I can drive with one hand. What do you think people who have their arms amputated and, you know, or even like my stepdad, he had a heat stroke when he was a child, and his left arm didn't work that great. No, his right arm didn't work that great. Yeah, it was his right arm that didn't work that great. So he basically had to drive with one arm. And that's what I told my husband. I'm like, I got this. And let me tell you, that entire day I was driving. I was scared that it was going to hurt my hip. And my hip was a little bit sore when I got home that day. But let me tell you, it was the wound from the fireworks that hurt the most. Because my jeans, you know, when you sit down and I got enough of a little tummy that it kind of folded over and hit my jeans and was irritating it. So that hurt. That was irritating me more than, bothering me more than the hip did. Now we're getting somewhere with some nice warm tea. I'm wanting to branch out on trying different teas, but I'm kind of hesitant because I wish you could get samples instead of buying like a full box of tea, because I'm not a huge tea drinker. I do drink it in the wintertime when I'm cold, but I'd like to drink it just for flavor, you know? Alright, now back to this. I guess what I'm asking is, would y'all keep going? I mean, I've already had to scrap one idea. I don't want us to have to scrap another one. But now, I can say, because of those front post trebles, it's squishy. It is definitely squishy. I might just stick with it. It's not like, you know, it's going to be horrible if it does stay stiff. You know, that way it'll have some structure when they put it around their neck. So I might just stick with that. But let's see. This thing was 812 yards. Okay. So it's 16 ounces. I think the pattern says, hang tight, it uses 437 yards. So that's roughly about half of that. So that'll only be 8 ounces. Which, now, if y'all remember when I first was talking about this, the 2026 grams equals about 71.5 ounces. So that would be 8 ounces down. And that's just the crochet version. So, yeah. I better get busy, huh? I'm kidding. I have all year. I don't have to bust all this out at one time. I probably will, because I've been craving my knitting and crocheting, and not just a blanket. I'm not going to knock my blankets. I mean, they got me through a very rough time, so. But I am glad that my hand is doing so much better to be able to do these stitches. And I might, let me see. I wonder if you could convert this. You probably could convert this to a crochet hat. You literally would just do it in the round. I ended up, I think it was, it's a website that you go, it's called the Lazy Hollyhopper. I think it was 70, no, it was 29 stitches. Nope, 28 stitches. 28 single crochet. So, this is equaling out, let's see, 9.5 inches, okay? We'll just say 9 inches. So, stretch-wise, I might have to do, you want about, the average adult head, about 22 inches. Some people, like my sons and me, have a little bit bigger head, so, you know, you might want to go to 24. But I think for average medium adult, average medium for an adult, I could get away with, let's see, 2.5. I mean, 2.5 quantity. So, I think I saw somewhere that the multiples were 6 and 1 if you wanted to expand or alter it. I can't see. I don't know where I saw that. It might have been in the project page. But I could do it around, you know, just do it in the circle and make a hat for it too. That would be cool. I might do that one. And when I'm thinking about this, when I'm thinking about the crochet, I don't have anything planned out in my head that was past the 2 tops that I looked at. And then when that didn't work, I went looking for this. So I'm hoping that when I do it, it's going to be, you know, inspired and fun. Ooh. Hold on. I just saw something that was really pretty. It looks almost like filet crochet, where it's got all the pretty little holes. But that really doesn't go well with this. And honestly, I almost said, no, I didn't want to do this with this yarn, and went with one of my big twists, like my Living or the Big Twist Value. Because neither one of those, even though they are technically a number 4 worsted weight, neither one of those are as thick as the Caron 1-pounders. Because this is some thick yarn. So, I mean, I'm not so far into it that I can't just scrap it now and do that with the Big Twist. You know what? I think I might. I'm not going to scrap this. I'm not going to pull it out. But I think I'm just going to set it to the side for a minute. Go over there and grab my Big Twist and see if that does a drapier fabric. And then I could do a coordinating color out of the Caron for the hat. Yeah, I might do that. What made me think about that is looking at this, the filet crochet, because even with the Big Twist, I don't think it would look very good to do that. I don't think it would work. Sorry. I thought it was something on my TV behind y'all. I don't have it on, so I was like, what is that? But it's just a reflection of me. Yeah. I'm losing it. That's okay. So anyway, if you have any ideas, other than, a particular hat and scarf combo, or even a particular pattern, I've done a lot of V-stitch scarves, done, simple double crochet scarves. I've done moss stitch. The only thing I don't like doing the moss stitch for scarves, because it does make a very dense, non-pliable, yeah, unless I really go up. I would probably have to go up to like a N or a P, which is 8 or 9 millimeters. Yeah, I'd have to go really big, really big. So I'm thinking, I want to do some different stitch types. I tell you what. Who is the channel that had, I don't think it was Mikey. There was a YouTube channel that they just basically did all these little stitch samplers. Let's see. Like a stitch Bible type thing. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find that real quick. Alright. Crochet that looks like knitting. Alright, so yeah, it's giving me all kind of websites, not YouTube. But I have seen a YouTube one to where they basically just go through a whole lot of stitches. But I might be able to do something like that. Something that'll keep me interested while doing a scarf, but still kind of relatively quick. Scarves are not my favorite to do. Scarves, they just, maybe because I don't wear them. Maybe if I wore them, it would be a whole nother ball game. Yeah, sorry, my hair has just got a mind of its own today, and I'm not going to argue with it. I just let it be. But when it gets in my eyeball, I have to go up. I'm surprised I haven't put it up in a ponytail yet, because it's been so irritating to me. But anyway, I think that's what I'm going to do with this. I'm still going to stick with the cable design, but I'm also going to delve into some more stitches. If you have a pretty stitch pattern that you like that's relatively quick, let me know. Because I do want... Now, I've done the waffle stitch. I wonder, is the diamond... I'm looking at this picture here on the webpage on Google, and it looks like it's a diamond motif. But basically, that's just a waffle stitch turned sideways, right? It's pretty. And I can say waffle stitch patterns are very squishy too, so that might be another thing. And when we were closing, I bought a good amount of Big Twist colors. The variegated ones. I don't want to... Those would be definitely like a V-stitch or a double crochet, something simple. I want to do a solid color for this cable pattern, because that's the highlight of this, that's the visual. I don't want to muddy it up with a variegated yarn. But I do want to do that. I want to use a lot of that I have. I might even make a hexacardy out of... I have a cool, the purple, black, yellow and white, or yellow and... I don't know if it's white or silver. I'm looking at it and I can't really tell 100%. But then I have down at the bottom, I can't remember what color it's called, but I have probably about 12 balls of it. So I have enough to do a hexacardy with that. I might do that. Just put it on my website. These I'll be donating, but yeah, I think I might do that. And so that's okay. So let me write that down. I have my handy dandy little notebook. Honestly, I need to start writing back in my stenos, because that's a lot better. There's not a whole lot that can fit on these little pages, but I have a running list already for the 2026 stash challenge. So okay, I said, what did I say? A hexacardy with big twist, and with variegated big twist. And then I could do, I think it would look really, really cool in the purple and black and the yellow or green. I don't really, it reads more yellow from over here. So, yeah, because I could have like a light version and a dark version. That would be cool. And then I could make, I think I would have enough to do a hexacardy and a couple simple scarves. So, yeah. Alright, we'll do that. Thank y'all. I appreciate it. You've helped me out. Now that we have that done, okay, like I said, I'm going to put this to the side. I'm not going to frog it right now, but I will take my, I need to write down, because you know, my memory is not the best, so I need to write down 6mm and hook it to that, because I'm not going to leave my hook with it. And I was going to leave it out here on my table, but I do have plans. Now, remember when I said I was going to do this stash busting? I was going to include possibly fabric with it. I don't think I'm going to do that. Not as it's because I can't. It's just I haven't figured out a good way to do it. But the reason I brought that up is because I am about to use my table to cut another one of these. Tina sent me some beautiful knit fabric that I want to, she sent it to me for another one of these dresses, and she's like, you know, maybe your daughter-in-law could. And my daughter-in-law was going to, but she had a lot on her plate because my son wasn't doing well, and they've got that, my grandson who's 5, so it was just rough. And then we went into Christmas. So I want to get that cut today. So I can't have anything on my table. So I'll just set this up to the side. I might even put it back in the cubby where it goes. I mean the shelf, and put the sticker, put a little thing on there where it says that I was using the 6mm. So I think that's a good idea. I think I'm going to use the big twist. And that will tell me what kind of drape that I'll get. I think I have light gray, I have dark gray, because I want it to be able to be masculine or feminine. I want it to be unisex, because I don't know who these are going to go to. And I don't want to pigeonhole the Red Cross into having to, you know, assign it to either or. They can just, you know. But I have black, light gray, dark gray. I have some ombre in big twist, but that to me is not it would hide the pattern. So I definitely want to keep it a solid color. I think that's all the solid I have. I see some over here. Definitely don't want to do white. I have that shoe rack on the back of my door. I don't know if y'all remember that day when I was recording and my shepherd's hook kept trying to, the wind was so bad I was scared it was going to fall. I went out there later that afternoon and it had snapped one of the zip ties that was holding it, because we have the big central air unit outside and I have it sitting beside it, and it's zip tied along the side of the, you know, those, it's not an enclosed one. It's got a frame around it that basically is wire, you know, and I zip tied it to that. But it sure did. It snapped one of those zip ties. And I'm like, Jeezy Pete, that was some hard daggone wind. But anyway, so what we're going to go forward, we're going to move forward and we're going to try the big twist. And then I want to do the hexacardy, 2 hexacardys probably, because I have a lot of the lighter color, but I do think that the other one, the Halloween vibe one, it's a pretty alternative too. So like I said, I had originally decided that I wanted to do the ombres with the Karen Jumbos, but I don't know. I just don't know yet. I still might. The sunset looking colors are, the 2 balls are fine. The skeins look almost identical, but the other one that has the peach, one's really light. One looks peach and one looks pink. And I'm like, that's not gonna work. So I have to figure out another project for those. And if it does anything like the Whitewater, if it broke and they retied it and it wasn't in the ombre pattern, it'll irritate me because I'll have to force the color. I'll have to color manage it, and I don't like doing that. So we're going to move forward. I'm going to try that. I will update y'all when I get to compare the 2. I do think I'm going to like the big twist value or the living with this pattern. I think it's going to make it a lot more drapey, you know, a lot more flowy. So remember, if you have any stitch patterns or ideas or anything, drop them down below, because sometimes I have too many ideas and it's overwhelming. So it's nice to have people throw ideas at me and say, yeah, I'd like to do that. No, I don't want to do that. But even if I don't pick what you've suggested, I still appreciate it. Trust me. Because, you know, have you ever experienced decision fatigue? I never put a label to it, but it makes sense. I mean, I heard the phrase probably 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I'm like, dude, that is me so much. I have so many ideas and my creativity is just popping everywhere that it's hard for me to pin down one idea that I want to do. So anytime y'all help me out, I appreciate it. So if you have any patterns, recommend them to me. I will take it, and if I use it, awesome. If I don't, I still appreciate the effort of you, you know, try and help me out. And Tina, I know you're gonna pop me an email with some ideas. Tina's really great about that, y'all. She really is. And when I get to 2026, I was gonna say, do y'all want to do this with me? Kind of like a de-stash, or working through your stash along, or something. I mean, you don't have to. That was just an idea. But I do understand a lot of people don't have enough to do that with. They don't have enough yarn to do a 2026 gram. And that's fine. You know, I'm not going to shame anybody, so scratch that idea. Y'all can just come along on my journey, right? I do want to get some of this stash down. Because, like I said at the end of last year, there are so many different yarns that I want to try. And try out for y'all, you know. Especially any new yarn that they come out with. The only thing... See, back when Red Heart came out with the Granny Square all-in-one, and it was kind of aggravating to work with, I was hesitant to buy the Flower Power. Well, I bought the one skein of the Flower Power, and it worked. So I bought 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. 9 of them puppies. 9. And I can't even get through the first full skein. I can't do it. I don't like I love the way the flowers, the motifs look after they're done. I just don't like to do it. And life's too short. So, I did say that I was going to give those away, didn't I? I tell you what. If you haven't subscribed already to my channel, subscribe to my channel. If I hit 3,000 subscribers, I'll give it away. And then if I hit 4,000 subscribers, I'll give another one away. Or I might just do 2. Yeah, I might just do that. I don't know. But that will be a plan. And I'll do a random comment generator thing to where, yeah, I'll do that. What do y'all think? Though I don't know how, somebody said you can't really do giveaways on YouTube, but I see people doing it all the time. I think you just have to avoid using the word giveaway in the title or something. I don't know. But I've seen that too. They might have done it in their thumbnail though. Ooh, got down to my honey. Yeah. But anyway, I'm going to get off here, I think, and go ahead and grab that big twist and try this cable with that. I don't know that I will go with the... Because, see, my go-to with my clovers is 4.5. And these feel clunky. I have my, my pink handled one, for... Well, it's in the living room. I showed y'all on a video, a regular video, where I was doing an update on that blanket. That's my boy, and it's an eye hook, but it's, I think it's 5.25. And I do have 5mm clovers, but I prefer the 4.5. And I wonder, I think I could get a decent enough drapey material with my 4.5, because that's just my go-to size. That's the one I prefer to work with. But if I can't get a good drape, I'll have to go up. I just don't want to have to go up to a... Ow. I don't want to have to go up to a 6. Okay. We'll see. But anyway, I hope you have a great one whenever you're watching this. I do hope that you can find some joy somewhere today. Just even if it's the tiniest little bit. Or it could be huge. I mean, I have so many joys right now. And I'm counting my blessings. Because even when I was having really bad days with all of this, I would grab joy everywhere I could. And honestly, from September to the end of the year, it was not good. And I had to try to find joy anywhere I could. And I did. And I would say try your best because it is worth it. I'm not always a sunshine and roses girl, but you know, sometimes you have to make your own sunshine and smell your own roses. Wait, that didn't quite come out right. But y'all know what I mean, right? So I hope you can do that today. I hope you have a great one, and I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye.